Alright, welcome back to another professional test log with the one and truly, the one and only, Doctor and Certified. Alright, initiating security background check through CloudStrike, Cloud System, Google owned, CrowdStrike. Test passed. Welcome, researcher. Opening file, Skibidi Tower of Babel. Test log summary. You will not be spared from the analysis. Researcher, Doctor and Certified. CDs 3. Batman, combatives, enough. Spectators 1 Discord mod, and IAS. SCPs 1139, Metronel. SCP-1159 makes you speak in a language and not understand others. Is this because of Gen Alpha Skibidi brain rot? Wait,
So
One day lingo here.
alright. Can you
One
just
day
do the
lingo
copy and
here.
paste so the
Alright.
IAS comes down?
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, no breaching, no using contraband. You get 3 warnings or 2 warnings. I don't know if they've changed it.
Nah, it changed.
Okay.
Oh, come on,
How
man.
does the other class disposable say? I don't know if this guy's voice jets or just do the copy and paste.
No worries, Batman's here.
Batman!
Am I allowed to get freaky with the
Batman!
What? Let me go. Let me go.
Leave a little girl alone.
Don't let him
Let
go.
Batman go.
Okay.
Let Batman go. I don't know the briefing.
Brief Batman!
I don't know the
Batman needs to brief Batman.
Well, we
briefing. Can you
literally
tell
got
this
the
peasant
entire
to let
site.
go of me?
Attention class disposable. You're taking part in a scientific test. Please do not walk away from the researcher and me. You get 2 strikes,
wait.
1 for me and 1 for the researcher. Do not direct the SCPs without permission. Is this understood, Private?
It doesn't understand. Stop
Now,
that!
Mr.
Whoa!
President.
Stop that!
What SCP are we?
Things it makes you say that make no sense when you touch the SCP. What it actually makes you say is
Make you say some freaky stuff, you know, like I wanna touch your
don't wanna
toes
be
and
relax,
suck
I
on
am
them
the
all day.
scientist, you don't know anything.
Batman's not freaky.
We live in a society.
Batman's not freaky like that.
Okay, I'm assuming
Batman will
they
be
have been
freaky.
sweeping for 5 seconds. I assume the sweeping is
Is it
complete.
clear?
Let's go. I think it's this
No, I
way.
wanna walk on mine. I wanna walk on mine.
Does it seem like I care?
CDs, wall.
I'ma touch
Wall. Wall CDs.
What if I go in here?
I don't know.
Let me make myself.
Alright, allow me to make
You
yourself
try.
clear. Alright, so
Hello, Trident. Can you throw it back? Can you
listen
do
up.
your mega shit?
Can you get them to stop speaking real quick?
I'm
Okay.
already brain mob boss.
So basically, the SCP, if you touch it, makes you say random things, but the reason we can't understand it is because it's Gen Alpha brain rot. You're gonna keep saying things about Skibidi, Riz, and Gyats, and Rizzlers.
Oh my
Whatever else there
god.
is. You're gonna talk
This
about
is-
the
this
Phantom
is not
tags.
under the codex.
Basically, we're going to decode
When I'm
them.
out of these cuffs, I'm
This
gonna
is
shoot
an
you.
alpha fragment, and we need to decode this. So you're gonna touch it, and then we're gonna use the tower of Defok Boom, which I think is the name of the guy who made Skibidi Toilet, and that's how we're gonna decode what you're saying, and we're gonna find out what Skibidi means. Alright, have I mentioned before we get into this?
Bro sniffing that brain rot. Bro sniffing that.
Alright, get Skibidi. Remember, it's Skibidi.
Say skibidi.
I'm a
Oh.
skibidi toilet.
I'm
with
talking
the
Skibidi.
in Ohio with the maximum.
Oh my
Skip
god.
the Ohio Riz. What do we? What
Yeah,
the
this is
Rizzler?
The gods and the bad man.
I'm the Rizzler on that Skibidi.
Okay, that was
Skibidi,
Oh
Skibidi.
my god.
Yeah,
this is
Ohio
okay.
Riz. I am
That's a
yeah,
total
Ohio.
count.
Skibidi, 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 Skibidi,
My
Skibidi.
ultimate Ohio certified I fucking
Batman lost his mind, sir.
like testing you.
Skibidi, Skibidi,
Batman,
Skibidi,
Batman
Skibidi,
lost his mind.
Skibidi, Skibidi,
What do you
Skibidi,
What do
Skibidi,
you think about the Phantom
Skibidi,
tax?
We live in a
Oh, bro, I'm
So
gonna
Skibidi,
ban
so
him.
Skibidi, so Skibidi, so Skibidi.
Oh,
Oh,
yes. Scientist. As a scientist, let me talk to them. Let me talk to them. Let me talk to
my
them.
Ohio
Batman.
God, Doctor
Batman,
Skibidi.
does your Ohio skibidi with Livy done in Ohio?
Everyone, are you Skibidi Riz in Ohio?
Skibidi,
I
Skibidi,
am
Livy done
Skibidi
in
Riz
Ohio with
Ohio.
gas.
Skibidi, Skibidi. The yacht touched Skibidi and became Ohio. Skibidi.
With Livy done in
What's
Ohio.
Harambe in
Mr.
Ohio?
Beast, light skin, scared, women's
Skibidi.
chick.
Skibidi, Skibidi, Skibidi.
gonna sauce you up in your arms. Skibidi toilet arms.
I have a question. Are you feeling Sigma by any chance? Are you becoming Sigma?
Well, I am the Sigma, bro. I am literally mocking you right now, bro.
Oh my god, what is he doing to the
They're the
obelisk?
ultimate Sigma. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, more like oh my god. Wait.
Skibidi, skibidi, skibidi. Skibidi, skibidi.
Did you just inhale you? Did you just inhale you for that?
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
Skibidi get Ohio
I think they should permanently add voice chat area Omega just for this.
Baby Gronk Sigma Alpha Male raised up live down in Ohio with Gyats.
Combatives, they are becoming too Sigma.
Skibidi, skibidi,
We need to terminate them.
He's becoming Sigma.
They're too Sigma and
I'm gonna
Skibidi.
mug you, bro.
They are visiting all over the place. We need to terminate the series.
What do you not understand? They are too Sigma.
We need to terminate them.
My freaking god.
I'm not asking. We need to get rid of the keys. They are literally tweaking. They're making Anki Boy. They're making Anki Boy noises. I mean, let's get in there. They're making Anki Boy noises. Yes, clean the brain rot. I told you 10 times. Just go in there.
No, not Sigmas. What have you done to our Sigmas?
Oh shit!
What have you done to our Sigmas?
They were too Skibidi for this world, moderator.
He got the brain rot, the Omega 7 got the brain.
Am I Skibidi?
Alright, I think you get the point. Alright. Alright, let me... Alright, getting the music. Disclaimer, the next portions of this test will no longer be comprehensible unless you lobotomize. Preamble. As seen in the previous video I've shown you, we came to very troubling results. SCP-1139 turned all 3 cities into Skibidi Sigmas before determination. However, during the test, 1139 obelisk later changed shape and started speaking. It spewed what I now call the Alpha Fragment. After those most impacted by Venom Skibidi Gyat, the Alpha Fragment is a poem made to show supremacy over Gen Alpha over the other generations, showing death as a consequence of being a Sigma in Ohio. I have attached 10 rambling weapon company images based on the text.
Yallo, said millennials, and yeet the Zoomers cried. Rizzler Gat Venom Tax, the Alphas then replied. And lo, there came a shaking as an ebon spire rose. Upon it writ the tongues of men their generation's prose. And from the sky a thunderous voice called out unto the stone, as golden letters glowed upon its surface newly shone. Rizzler Gat Venom Tax, Sigma Ohio Skibidi. And all beheld the words embossed thereon in great timidity. With shaking and with wavering voice the grim refrain began, as all the generations sang the verse at his command. Their weeping and their running sores did nothing to delay the chanting of that fevered song as night succumbed to day. But rose that morn a blighted sun whose light scoured like a flood. The sky was rent asunder, and the rivers turned to blood. Their flesh peeled off in sickly strips, their bones were rendered bare, and still they chanted ever on the words they uttered there, until bone and flesh and earth and death were all forgotten things, and still unbidden, undesired, the blackened spire sings. Around it wind the whispers of the souls in its captivity. Rizzler, Gat, Venom Tax, Sigma Ohio Skibidi.
Analysis. Now that you understand the Alpha Fragment's data, it is time to decode its messages. We do not know what the words Rizzler, Gat, Venom Tax, Sigma Ohio Skibidi means, and in this log without the meaning of the phrase, why 1139 would be saying it. Part 1. Time passing. It's taken me months, but I finally managed to decipher the message SC1 from the Nine gave us, the Alpha Fragment. I wasn't sure at first, but now that the full translation of it is bestowed upon me, it's obvious that this is an excerpt from some sort of holy text not seen on Earth. There are several lines in completely different dialect from British England, known as Ohio Brainrot, that took weeks of corresponding linguists to work out. Fortunately, the particular words in these lines are often repeated in YouTube shorts and TikTok content, which made the process of deciphering the messages easier. I'll provide an explanation of the Gen Alpha Brainrot words that appear within the fragment of data from 1139. Part 2, analysis. Part 1, YOLO, origin unknown. From context, we know this to be a fatalist statement about the brevity of life, often uttered before nearly suicidal feats of bravery or folly. The fables of the hardware give their fight to fight the Skibidi toilets, something like death is inevitable, or perhaps simply life ends. Solemn indeed. Yeet. Onomatopoeia preferring swaying with all your might. Highly contextual. Whistler. The greatest villain to Gooters. The Whistler is a villain who took the power to involve others in their freaky behavior. Also used to describe any sexual individual or anyone who attempts to seduce another. Phantom text. An expression of uncertain provenance, which means to steal food, with the implication of getting wounded. Taxation and taste in contemporary language are likely taken by the Gen Alpha Brainrotters to add to their lexicon. Phantom is known to have some relation to the streamer Kai Sadat, but no data is needed on the matter. Part 2, vocabulary analysis. Part 2. Sigma, pronounced like a Greek letter, but unrelated. Sigma is a man, or a type of man, unconcerned with propriety and exploitation of others. He willfully follows his own goals. Someone not held back by morality or tradition. Patrick Bateman. Ohio. Many sources suggest that this was the name of a freaky rare location in North America. The exact location of Ohio is not known, as it carried a mystery to all who live today. Used allegorically, Ohio could mean any strange or cursed location. Giat, known for meaning a large ass for the pounding, can be used on men and women, like the exact name of famous female pornographer Giatum Dataz. Part 2, vocabulary analysis. Part 3, Skibidi. By far the most obscure of Gen Alpha Brainrot words. We only even know how it's pronounced due to the rhyme scheme of the Alpha Fragment. Images bearing the word can be found everywhere. It frightens the pee out of my scrotum. Skibidi, whatever its origin, is an expression of restlessness, paranoia, and inescapable dread, accompanied by the joy that the hands are on their loving God. MacBook iPad Pro Max 19. It serves as a reminder of the separation from their iPads, used to watch Brainrot content on the interwebs. Thankfully, iPads have been built to launch executable software, preventing malware from affecting iPad kitties. Part 3, analysis of the fragment. Part 1. That lexicon in hand, including that is, I feel for your confident in my and my esteemed colleagues' translation of the Alpha Fragment into unbrainrotted form. Sadly, the rhyme scheme does not bear translation, and thus the poetry of the original does not really come through, but format like other more ancient texts such as Greek and Latin. I have done this a match of anti-F, male to female obsession with using Greek letters to name their task force units in the deployment of estrogen to black urban neighborhoods in order to undermine the community. Specifically said to include the gay frogs, flag hunters, and Axel in Harlem, known as the Trinity of Gay Niggas. Anyways, below is a translated version of the words unbranded once again in slideshow form.
The ancients of 1,000 years said, life is fleeting, and the fast ones mourned, thrown away. The first ones of renown answered, a handsome man with shapely buttocks can steal food unpunished. Then among them, a black stone obelisk rose from the ground in an earthquake, with all human languages and the literature of an entire generation written on it. And a voice from the sky spoke to the obelisk, and the voice's words appeared on the surface of it in shining golden letters, which said, a handsome man with shapely buttocks can steal food unpunished, but a carefree man outside the law is cursed to strange places and cannot rest. And they all were greatly afraid to see the words written there. They shook, and their voices were weak, repeating in sadness the words which the voice ordered every generation to sing. So they were struck with leprosy and wept pointlessly to hinder those who were singing fervently all night and into the morning. At dawn the sun was sickly, and its light caused destruction like floodwaters. tearing the sky apart and turning rivers into blood. The skin of the people struck with leprosy fell off, exposing their bones, as the people who were singing continued until the lepers died and were buried in the ground and forgotten. The black stone obelisk is still there, and those who didn't want to sing the words on it are ghosts dwelling nearby, forced to whisper. A handsome man with shapely buttocks can steal food unpunished, but a carefree man outside the law is cursed to the strange places and cannot rest.
Alright, I am now in control once again. Part 3, Analysis of the Fragment, Part 2. There is a fair chance that some nuance has been lost for translation, but that's likely the gist of it. The voice that speaks with the obelisk is no doubt that of the Gen Alpha chief god, Internet. We might be tempted to infer from this story that they saw the Internet as a cruel and vengeful job, but I recommend against that interpretation. If you know anything about those who are under brainrot, it's that they love Internet and are deeply devoted to it. If anything, I take this war as evidence that as far as the iPad kids saw it, anyone who angered the Internet deserved to be destroyed, which frankly lines up with what else we know about them and their warlike nature. Part 3, Analysis of the Fragment, Part 3. Though it may seem strange, the Alpha Fragment is not so morally alien as we might initially assume. In this tale, a group of elderly men, millennials literally, once every 1,000 years, and speedless zoomers, literally ones going too fast, are complaining that their lives have been too short, that they wasted them respectfully. The respectful and prominent men, the aforementioned Gen Alphas, used in many contexts to seduce men of high status over the Skibidi, respond that the real problem isn't liability or cheapness, but rather injustice, that scrupulous people can coast by on their looks and even commit crimes with seeming impunity. All of them are discontented with life, but the most suspected men have levied the most serious change, that life is inherently unjust. Apparently, it is the last accusation that draws the fuckboom's ire. Part 4, Analysis of the Generations, Part 1. We learn from this that Gen Alphas believed the Internet to be a just god. They were offended by the implication that the Internet allowed injustice, so it caused a stone pillar to rise from the ground, with all the words that people have ever said written on it, SCP-1139. This is to show them that they are keeping track. They're going to hold everyone accountable for everything they say by using the obelisk with everyone's geek and brain rot language. What 1139 is known for. Part 4, Analysis of Generations, Part 2. The Fucky Boom with the Internet corrects the accusation of the Gen Alphas. Yes, the Sigmas can get away with a lot, but anyone who breaks the law, and they seem to get away with it, has to go to forsaken places and always has to watch their back. The original language uses that insulting term, Skibidi, implying extreme paranoia and separation from their gods, the fuck boom in the Internet. In other words, sinners don't live easy lives, they become their own worst enemies. Part 4, Analysis of Generations, Part 3. This is an important, I dare suggest, universal lesson. Our foundation can appreciate a respect for law and order, and seeing justice even in incidental troubles of the seed. Hold on. Alright, back. Apparently, it was important enough to the fuck boom in the Internet, and thus the Gen Alphas, to make it a permanent lesson to those disobedient ones who balk that sing skibbity dop dop yes yes word night and the day, by killing them with harsh calamities and forcing their souls to silent forever, forcing them into an eternal state of skibbity in Ohio. Conclusion, Part 1. I learned from this that the Brainrotter's idea of justice was harsh. It was intimately linked to the spiritual, such as the American psychos, defying the law, and not just ruled, but eternal, divine, skibbity implications. To even suggest that justice was imaginary and futile for the most kindness of divine punishments, such as banishment to Ohio. That said, clearly there must have been some endemic social issues regarding corruption and equal application of justice and practice in order to cause the iPad kiddies to attain these ideas. What a main suggestion that such problems exist to be so vehemently taboo. Still, you can come away from this short seal showing of an understanding of the iPad kids, I think. The Brainrotted believes, or wants to believe, in a just world. He believes in a spiritually active living world that is not mere happenstance, but governed by attentive and all-knowing entities that directly intervene for the sake of moral matters, albeit in harsh and inscrutable ways, such as making the sinners skibbity. In Gen Alpha believes, or at least pay lip service to the idea that moral behavior is its own reward from the fuck booming internet, and feeling that moral behavior is in some ways its own punishment. And ultimately, the kiddies believe that those who suffer Hushiver's crimes deserve it. Ocean Part 2. Perhaps that summary isn't flattering by modern standard, but I think it makes the brainwashed familiar in a sense. We are separated by language, but the Gen Alpha are people like us who in their own way want the same things we do and fear the same things we fear. Skibidi. If you ever learn what truly led to their decline, find the lesson in landing of humbly. Sigma Ohio Skibidi indeed.